Curtis was there, Ken and Curtis show at the Winter Weekend, Red Sox Winter Weekend in Springfield, and John Henry met with some boo birds over the weekend, as did Chaim Bloom. I thought, Curtis, in listening to and watching what Chaim said, that he did a pretty good job of turning that crowd around a little bit during that town hall that they had.
Yeah, I mean,
No?
It was a tough night, and it was. But in the end, the best thing for anybody is to know how someone feels, honestly. Otherwise, you have nothing in the relationship. So in this situation, it was cathartic for the fans to have the opportunity to share their displeasure with the people that make the decisions for the team they love. Mm-hmm. And it was a great opportunity provided to them in a way that it isn't for the other three teams in this market. So to have John Henry, Chaim Bloom, Sam Kennedy all on a stage, don't forget Brian O'Halloran, all there, to be able to be asked and grilled and then booed was, in the end, good. Because it's going – we all think Sam Kennedy with Ken and I on Saturday poo-pooed this, that the fan reaction at the Winter Classic did anything to accelerate the Devers deal. However, it can't hurt. They don't like that. If you make $1 billion, you're rarely told you're wrong. It's even rarer that people boo you. So for John Henry to witness that, to hear that, you can't act like everything is awesome anymore.
Best interview for you on Saturday? What was your favorite?
Oh, Sam Kennedy. It was great. We spoke with him for about 15, 20 minutes, and, you know, it was, of course, Ken at the beginning threw me under the bus. He's like, oh, well, how's the Kennedy-Curtis relationship these days? Anyway, but no, I asked him about the messaging that the team had done regarding Xander Bogaerts and how self-inflicted the wound was, because the fan reaction, I feel, was in large part due to the mixed messaging between what they said and what they did. And he admitted that he allowed their love of the guy, Xander Bogaerts, to come through in a way that came back to haunt them, because what he got with the Padres, Sam Kennedy told us, was galaxies apart from what they were offering.
Right.
No, I cannot.
And Ken was right. I think Ken, Bossman, was – I think he is right where when I hear the John Henry, maybe he is trying to sell this team.
Yeah.
Maybe he is, and I know you had mentioned that, Courtney.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I don't think the booing really affects him. I understand he's a billionaire, and billionaires don't love that, but he's surrounded by so many yes men and women constantly that I think whether it's he leaving Fenway and people are yelling, you know, pay anybody, or it's getting booed at Winter Weekend, I think that he's on his way out. I don't think that he cares about if the fan base likes him or not.
And maybe get as much of the Red Sox cost down in his pocket, so then when he does sell them, they're going to be, I mean, can you imagine what they would sell for? He makes more money. And then in a smart business move.
If he's selling the team, I don't think there's a shot in hell he gets on a dais in Springfield.
No. Why would he do that?
Why would he do what?
Why would he go out there and be a part of the town hall meeting?
Well, because I think this is something that he's doing that's not going to happen tomorrow, but this is eventually coming down the pipe. Because when have you ever heard the Red Sox go, it's expensive to have baseball players? For the past 10, 12 years, they've been top 5 spending, but now all of a sudden it's expensive?
And he was, you know, putting on a show when it came to Liverpool before they put them on the market.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that coming. So
I never heard him
But
complain
the
about
expensive-
players and money.
But it was a response to a question about having the highest ticket prices in baseball. And so he said it's expensive to pay for the highest, you know, their whatever. You always say it, we they're top 5 in payroll. So that wasn't something that he broached himself. He was asked about why they finished in last place in the division, yet still had the highest ticket prices in baseball.
Okay.
And that's why he replied.
All right, so then maybe now that I know that was the question that was asked, leads me in a different direction. Basically, he's telling the fans, so then my approach is, hey, the reason why your ticket prices are so high because you want me to go out and you want me to pay these guys $35 million a year. You don't want the ticket prices to be high? Guess what? I'll go out and get you some $18, $19 million players, and I don't want to hear no complaining. So I could see that now, knowing that the whole full context of what he was answering the question towards makes me say, okay, well, you know what? I'll pay higher ticket prices if I know you're going to go out there and spend the money. I mean, isn't that what fans want?
Yeah.
And the other thing I thought of hearing this, and the Red Sox and most teams in this town do it, growing up in Boston, we used to have these organic moments, whether it was the Mariano Rivera tipping the cap after the Red Sox won their first World Series, or chants from the stands, or just moments that were not pre-scripted. and it feels like everybody now has been trying to script those. But that was a organic moment out of passion from the fans, and that's why it was so awesome to see. Because the Red Sox fan has been kind of poo-pooed. People rip the team a lot. They don't like Heim, whatever. But the passion that existed in Springfield was still pretty good.
Curtis, you've been to Winter Weekend before, though. Did you feel like there was a drop-off in fan attendance at all?
This was my first. I had never been.
Oh, okay. Because from looking at the social media and the things that you guys were posting, it didn't seem like there was any drop-off. It almost looked like the fans were out loud and proud for this one. And I think that Henry, Kennedy, Werner, even, like, everybody looks at that and says, okay, we had a not great team this season, and look at the fan base. They're still coming out. They're still spending money. They still want to be a part of everything.
They wanted to come out and boo.
But they also wanted to come out and see the players. Like when you guys had Ortiz, right?
Yeah.
And the amount of people that were there following around Ortiz to just get a glimpse of him.
It's Ortiz.
I know, but that's the Red Sox are always going to have that flash value, even though their team isn't that great.
Well, the frustrating part of that, Courtney, I'm glad you brought it up. I didn't know who the crowd was for because Bradford came on stage at the same time, so it could have been for Rob.
That's fair. Baseball is not boring.
Well, I think the fan engagement, Courtney, I think the reason why you see the fans the way they are is because the Red Sox have proven to us in the past that they could suck one year and then the next year win a World Series. So you're never, like, until there's, like, years of sucking back to back to back to back, fans are not going to jump off this ship because they look at it and they'll bitch and complain. But then the next year they'll be right back in the mix. They'll, be one of the better teams in baseball. They'll be a World Series contender, or they even win a World Series. I think that's what the Red Sox front ownership group has done. They know that as long as we could put a team out there consistently that's good, they'll bitch and complain, but they'll come back.